episode 3.
Number 3.
So we are going to be talking to you guys a little bit about what we've done over the Christmas period. Also a little bit about comp prep today.
How did you find spending Christmas in Thailand? This was our first Christmas. How did you find it?
Yeah, it was different for sure. What I will say is when you're spending Christmas in hot countries, it's just not Christmas.
No, it's not the same. And we said that before, haven't we? Even in Dubai, we were
it
like...
It sounds like we're being really, like, what's the word?
Good question. But no, what we're trying to say is like, Christmas is like, it has to be in the UK, I think. Somewhere cold.
The thing is, the UK, they do it really well. You know, like in November, they start putting on the adverts and they're Christmas. But like here, it was just generally like, here we go. There's no build up. They did a little bit of like decorations, didn't they? Put like
I think the island gave it a really good go.
But I feel like they're literally just putting that on for
tourists.
For tourists, Europeans.
Yeah, I really enjoyed it.
No, it was good. It was amazing.
We ate a lot of seafood.
Yeah, we went to a all-you-can-eat brunch. All-you-can-eat brunch and drink as well.
Food was so good.
We paid £60 each.
Amazing.
So unlimited food, unlimited drink for like 4 hours, I think it was. Had like beef Wellington, like salmon Wellington.
They had everything. And do you know what? It went so quick as well, didn't it? It was like, I was gone. Yeah, I really enjoyed it. Should we move on to what we're going to talk about into bodybuilding?
You're not going to talk about what we done for New Year's?
It's all a blur. What did we do?
We wasn't even drunk.
I was sober. This was my first year actually sober on New Year's. Didn't drink. I felt really good. Next day we went and trained, didn't we?
Yeah, but that night we just went and met some friends.
Met some friends.
Sat on the beach, didn't we? And watched along a place called Bangrak, and you can literally just watch all the fireworks across like Fishman Village. But yeah, it was amazing.
How good do you feel not drinking?
But waking up in the morning fresh, it's different. I'll be honest. Like for the last however long, you know what it's like. You go out on a night out. Drink loads of alcohol and then wake up New Year's Day just like
so hungover, and you want to just eat loads of just like crap, high sugary foods. I woke up and I was like, let's go train. I felt so good.
Yeah, we went to train legs, didn't we?
We did legs. Yeah, we had a really good leg session. So for potential clients looking to compete this year for 2025, how long should they be getting ready for a bodybuilding fitness model competition?
So we've got quite a few clients that come to us. You know, they've seen our clients do really well over the last year, and they're like, right, I want to compete, and they've never done a competition before, completely new to them.
No.
So when this happens, when a client comes to us and has been with us a while, we just make sure we set their expectations of what needs to be done and what we need from them and what they need to do. So the first thing is just making sure that they're ready to prep. Okay, and that's going to be mentally and physically.
Yeah.
So if they've been with us a while, they know how to follow a nutrition program, they know how to follow a training program. So it is generally those two, but doing it for longer, consistently. That might not be, there might be some certain sacrifices, of not eating out, sticking to a nutrition program and that sort of thing. So that's for a first timer.
Yeah.
And just to give like an actual time frame on that, we always say around about a 20 to 24 week prep. So even sometimes 30 weeks.
Yeah.
But it's making sure as well that that person is ready and is in a good has good body composition. If you're just rocking up to like a prep and you're overweight and you're like, yep, all right, I've got to lose like 40 kilos. You're not going to enjoy that prep.
And just kind of touching on that, I think one of the main things is muscle. They need to have good amount of muscle. If you come to us with no muscle, we're going to have to break it down into phases. So the main thing is when you come to us, we need to look at your body composition. If you do not have enough muscle, you're going into a gaining phase. You have to do it. We need a full body recomp. You need to go into that show with enough muscle. If you don't have enough muscle, you're not going to be as competitive.
Yeah, this is the thing as well. What we see quite a lot, and people come to us and like, oh, I want to step on stage, and they haven't really like they're not in a great place, are they? Literally, some people don't even train. They're like, oh, we're going to step on stage.
Yeah.
Because I think what happens is people just look on social media and they see all like these women and they're like in their nice bikinis, got nice hair, they're all smiling on stage, eating donuts at the show.
After,
And the same for the guys as well. And they just think, oh, I can do that. I can do that, but they don't see what goes on behind the scenes. So yeah, it's tough. It's like probably the hardest thing that you can do. So if you are thinking about doing a show for the first time, just put yourself in, like we like to do like a pre-prep with clients, just put them into like a trial period to see if they actually like it.
To see if they're consistent, they're disciplined, and they can actually follow the protocols of what we're telling them to do. If they can't do it, we've got some red flags and something that has to be addressed. Because I think people forget, when you're doing a competition, you are pushing yourself to the absolute limit, and they are going places that they have never mentally been before. So you need to make sure you have enough time, enough muscle. You don't have any kind of hidden trauma with bad relationship with food, because that unfortunately can come out if you start prep.
Yeah, and that's something as well, which is huge. There might be a person that's absolutely fine in the fat loss phase, and if they're showing those signs post-show, you are going to struggle, because for months and months and months you're trying to get your weight back down to a place it doesn't really want to go. And then after the show, your weight's going to increase. Of course it's going to increase. And that's where people struggle. So you have to make sure mentally you're okay with that.
And I think that definitely ties in with body dysmorphia, which people don't think they have it. And we can recognize this very, very quickly within certain clients, can't we? And if you are not okay with going through those phases, we have to pull back, we've got a lot of work to do just to get you in the right place. And if you are not in the right place, we will tell you. And we've done that before. We've pulled people from preps because they're just not in the right place. The environment, their surroundings, the people supporting them, everything, it all ties in a prep, isn't it? It is extreme. It's an extreme sport.
Yeah, I mean, that's the thing is as well about prep, and with that as well, it's not just about yourself, it's about people around you as well. Sometimes, especially if you've come from a lifestyle, where you're going out, you have lots of social events, and all of a sudden you're going into prep, you can't really do that. Or if you are at those social events, you're not joining them with their drinking, you're not joining them with their food. Some people can be a bit like, oh, what's going on here? This is just not even just a prep, this is a fat loss phase as well. If you're trying to reach your goals, you're always going to have these certain people around you that are trying to pull you back.
So what would you say to those people that are kind of distractions and not the people that are going to help them get to their results? What do you say to those people?
Yeah, I mean, these sort of people, they can be your friends, they can be your family. Your family are generally the worst as well, when they're just like, oh, I don't think you should be doing that. Oh, you're getting too skinny. Because they remember as well, these sort of people, they've seen you this way, and you're trying to change, and it's a bit of a shock for them.
They don't like it.
So what I would say is you need to sit them down and go, look, this is what I want to achieve, this is my goals, because if you don't, they could make your prep quite stressful.
We've seen it.
I say quite stressful, very stressful.
We've seen it, and I think going back to, let's talk about couples in prep. And I've seen this before, when one person starts working on themselves, if that other person doesn't level up with them, it suddenly becomes, there's a lot of friction in that relationship, and then potentially they end up breaking up. So I think your partner needs to understand what you're going to do this year, and they have to support you. If they don't support you, get rid of them. No,
I'll tell you what we have seen. No, well, you have a point, but you will learn a lot about your partner in prep. And what do we always say as well? If you can make it through a prep, you can make it through anything together. It's so true as well, because your emotions are super, super high all the time, especially if you're doing it together.
Yeah.
When we prep together, we've been together for now 10 years. We still struggle with it. We just bicker, won't we?
Tom eats all the food.
Yeah, I eat all the food, and she's like, "Where's the chicken?" You just argue about stupid stuff.
She will be tested. Your relationship will absolutely be tested.
But what I will say to you, if you are in prep and you have a partner and they don't like the gym or anything like that,
get rid of them. No, I'm joking.
You have to be they don't know, they don't understand the process.
That's why I always say, get them involved. Like, get them to come to the gym with you. Let them see what you're doing, because at the end of the day, you're improving your health, you're working on yourself, you're working on your mental health, you have this goal. They need to support you with it. And half the time when that couple is not being supportive, they end up splitting up. They do.
Yeah, sounds like we're making prep sound terrible. But we're not. It's generally just that we're trying to warn you guys that if you are in a relationship, it can be very, very hard for that person if they've never been to the gym or whatever.
Yeah,
so just try and sit down, explain it to that person, the process and how you want to get there, and just say that this is so important for me in terms of my goals. I really want to do it. And make sure they do support you as well.
Yeah, and the thing is, we've even spoken to the partners and explained, they've come to us, this is the support we're going to give them, the program, this is what they're potentially going through to get to that end result of stepping on stage.
It is quite sad though. Like, we've had with clients before where their partner simply doesn't support them.
Yeah, I know. I'm like, why don't they support you?
Yeah, no, it's true, and it's very, very hard. Like, those clients have done amazing still. Like, even considering they haven't had the support.
Do you know what? I think it's like a jealousy thing. That person gets a bit jealous, like, that they're working on themselves. That insecurity comes out in them, and this person levels up, and the other person is kind of like. Just stuck here.
Yeah,
have to.
That's not even in prep though. That's generally like just in like people just trying to better themselves.
Yeah,
it's quite sad because, like, if you've got two couples, and they live like a unhealthy lifestyle.
Yeah.
And as soon as someone makes that change, that other person's got two decisions: they stay where they are, or they level up with that person.
Absolutely.
And that's the breaking point for most people.
That's it.
So, we actually had a call with a client yesterday who I said exactly the same thing. It's like, they're struggling because of their partner is not leveling up with them.
Yeah.
And they feel like, he'll order a takeaway and she'll have it, but I'll have the, they're not progressing together. So one of you have to take the lead. I always say, like, lead the pack. You have to lead the pack.
I know exactly who we said this to as well.
You have to lead the pack.
Absolutely.
Otherwise, you guys are going to stay exactly where you are.
Or you get dragged down with them, and then surprise, surprise, you're suddenly not making progress. Look at the people around you. Look at the people in your circle. If you're not progressing, that's what we generally do. We're like, okay, who's in your life that is throwing you off track?
Yeah, and remember as well, these people won't see it like that as well.
No.
If you feel like someone is pulling you back, they won't see it like that. They're just happy living their little comfortable life, because getting in shape is hard work and people like their comfort zone.
Oh, so you said it was easy last time. You were like, getting in shape is easy.
It is easy. It is easy when you know how.
Yeah,
it is when you know how. Do you want to say again?
When you know how.
So,
and we would teach you how.
Yeah, but like, it is really hard for couples that are, like I say, trying to go through it.
That's why we say, like, do this together. Like, if one of you is going to start your journey with us, like, I'll take the women, and then we're like, oh, they have a husband. You coach the husband, and it really works. They're on this journey together, and I think that's extremely powerful. Work as a team, and the results are like insane. Yeah,
and that's it. As soon as you do start working as a team, you're on the same journey, it becomes a lot easier. But sometimes it's not always that. There's one person that's not going to be interested, and if you're in a relationship like that, if it's not for them, like I say, you have to lead the pack, because 9 times out of 10. In a few months' time, he's going to be asking questions like, "Oh, what are you doing? Oh, you're looking great. How come you've got so much energy now?
Yeah, you've lost loads of weight. So, I want to lose weight."
Yeah, lead the pack.
What does a bodybuilding prep diet look like?
This is the thing. I think when people think of like bodybuilding diets, they just think of like chicken and broccoli, and you've got to eat that for like the next 100 years.
Yeah.
But it's not true. It's like generally how you get in shape is just being consistent with what you're doing. It doesn't mean you just eating chicken and broccoli all the time.
Yeah,
you still eat foods that you enjoy
massively.
But all it is, guys, is generally just being in a deficit for a long period of time. That's it on paper. You're doing a lot of cardio, you're doing your training or whatever, you just have to consistently do it. There's nothing magical about it. It's just hard work and discipline. That is it.
I would say a lot of people come to us and they don't realize the amount of protein that they need to eat within this diet. So they come to us and they're like, oh, that's a lot of protein. And it's like, yeah, but you need to understand what we're doing. We're trying to drive down as much body fat while maintaining as much muscle, gaining muscle into the show. So how do we do that? You know, we go for like good high quality protein. How often should a client be training when starting a bodybuilding competition prep?
So I would say between like 4 and 5 days per week.
Yeah, absolutely.
That's where you want to be. We've had clients, the reason why they'd be doing 4 days per week is because of their recovery. They just simply cannot do more than 4 workouts a week because they're training hard and their body's recovering from that. Generally, that it's most likely going to be like a natural athlete doing 4 days per week. The 5 days is probably like 80% of our clients that do that.
This is a very broad question, but how much cardio should someone do in a bodybuilding prep?
Try to do as less as possible by getting maximum results.
Less is more. Less is more. Like, do you know what is actually wild? That people have come to us and they're like, oh, my last coach made me do 20,000 plus steps. I'm like, what are you doing?
Yeah.
You do not need to be doing excessive amounts of cardio. And I don't know why people always think this. To get shredded, they think hours and hours of cardio. You don't need to do it. It's very taxing on the body. What
happen is your body just stops responding. Okay, you get deep into a fat loss phase and your body just stops responding. So why has that happened? That's probably something to do before your actual prep. You wasn't in a good position, like body composition wise, you weren't calorie wise. So when it comes into it, you haven't got lots to play with. And what happens? Cardio goes up because your body's just not responding. So there is that thing as well. Some coaches generally have no choice but to up your cardio. But how you get around that is just making sure that you are in an amazing position before you start prep. Where you're relatively lean and you've got loads of calories to play with. That's what's really going to actually help.
Yeah.
To stop doing tons of cardio.
So going back to the nutrition, you need to have a really good baseline of calories when you come to us. And if your calories are low, we're going to put them up. And I think some people really struggle with that. They're like, oh my God, this is so much food.
Yeah.
I'm like, you're getting ready for a bodybuilding competition. It's not starve yourself competition.
Yeah.
So people think less food, they're going to look better. And that is absolutely not the case.
Yeah. That's the number one as well. We get clients come to us, be like, for example, a lady goes, oh, I've been eating like 1,500 calories per day. The body composition's, let's just say, not in a place where we'd think, oh, you're ready for prep. So, what we generally have to do in that circumstance is obviously get their body responding, most likely go into like a 4 to 6 week fat loss phase, help to increase our insulin sensitivity. And then once we've got their body responding how we want it to, then we start pushing up those calories. So
that's it.
You want to drop a bit of body fat before you actually go into that gaining phase. It's no good just going, oh, she's come to us, you're on 1,500 calories, let's start prep. One, your body composition is not in a great place. 2, you're not on a great amount of calories. Like, where do we go from there?
Yeah.
Cardio up, food down. By the end of that prep, you're eating like 800 calories.
Jesus Christ.
Loads of cardio.
No.
That'd be the worst thing.
Absolutely not.
So
no way.
guys,
I'll never drop my calories that low ever.
Yeah, just make sure you are doing everything you can possibly to start in the best place for prep.
Food is fuel.
Yeah.
Food is fuel. Is a coach essential to have?
So, if you think about it, when we're in prep or a fat loss phase, what happens is that we become very emotional, and we're like. You look at yourself one day, you're like, oh, I look crap.
Tom starts crying.
Yeah, I look small. You look past, walk past the mirror, and you're like, oh, I look crap. I look small, or I look fat. And then next day you're like, oh, I look brilliant. I'm really, really good. No, that's just like the human mind. It can really play with you. So 100% get yourself a coach. We can make stupid decisions in 1 minute that could make you have a real bad and negative effect on your physique. If you've got a plan where someone's like, follow this, do this is what's going to get you to your goals. It's going to make things so much easier. Because if you're working like a 9 to 5 job and you've got lots of stress going in your life, and then you're like trying to work out how many calories you're going to need to be on, how much cardio you're going to do, and then you'll have those emotions of where you're like, oh, I look crap today, I'm going to drop all my calories, I'm going to up my cardio. You're just stressing yourself out. You're never going to get the best out of your physique when you generally leave it to yourself. A lot of people go, oh, I coach myself. All right, you're going to get those sort of people that can do that, but I always just think most likely they're going to actually look better if they had someone overlooking them.
Yeah, and definitely, and I think sometimes they have the experience. They've done like maybe another preps before, and they've learned along the way. But I think if you are a beginner, get a coach. It will help you out massively, and having someone to keep you accountable is extremely powerful because, like you said, we're our own worst enemies. So having someone overlook your physique and saying, look, you are making track, you are on progress, it's very, very powerful. So I think if you're a beginner, get a coach.
Do you remember my first ever prep?
Oh, you didn't even make it to the end.
Didn't make it to the stage. So I literally knew nothing. This is like a prime example. If you're a first timer, you just get yourself a coach. Like for the first time, I didn't even know that coaches existed at that point. So
what happened?
Well, I started off myself on 2,000 calories.
Which is not a lot for Tom.
No, that's like dust. And I lasted 6 weeks, I think it was. And I was just doing like HIIT training. I was running on the treadmill every day. I had terrible shin splints. And I just kept lowering my calories because my body just wasn't responding because it was just super stressed.
Yeah.
And on the 6th week, I ordered a ton of Dominoes, cookies, binge. But I woke up next morning brilliant because my body was just super tired. It was super stressed,
super fatigued, and massively depleted. Yeah, you were very
but by then I was just like, I'm so done with this prep. I'd mentally drained, so I gave up.
You pulled out, yeah.
But I looked better.
You pulled out.
Eat more food.
I don't let you live that down. I'm like, do you remember you pulled out of that prep?
Yeah, I did. That was my first time.
You had no idea what you were doing, and same with kind of like my first prep as well. I didn't really have the knowledge.
No.
So I think it's so powerful working with someone who has that experience, has the knowledge, has like past clients, know what they're doing. Yeah, I just think get a coach. Unless you know exactly what you're doing and you have all of that, coach yourself.
Thing is as well, guys, you got to remember, like, we've been doing this for 10 years now.
Oh my God.
So we have a lot of experience. We know
when you say 10 years, I'm like, a decade.
We know what to do.
What not to do.
We do. We know what to do when things go wrong. For a client, the worst thing you can do is if you've messed up on your diet is not say anything, or you're not doing your cardio. Like generally we know as well, guys. We know when you're not doing it. We know
we know.
Yeah. If your body is not responding how we want it to, and we're like, all right, let's get some blood work done. All right, let's do this, do that, and you're still not responding, we just know it's going to be down to you. You're not being honest.
And it's up to us to kind of build that relationship where they can tell us. But we've had it before, and I know we've mentioned this about they don't want to upset us. They don't want to feel like they're failing. But if you come off plan, you have to tell your coach. You have to just admit it, move on for it. Don't dwell on it because it will make your prep extremely difficult.
Yeah. I mean, here's a prime example. It's just like you've checked in, but the night before you've had like a big old binge, and your weight's up, but you're saying in your check-in, oh yeah, I'm just a little bit stressed at the moment. I've 100% been on plan. I'm doing all my cardio and everything. I think it's just down to stress, or I'm not too sure what this is all about, but 100% I've been on plan. We're like, okay, what are we going to do from here? We've got a few options. Okay, most likely what this could be down to is stress, like we've just said. So we have to pull back that intensity.
Absolutely.
So we have to go with the client, but if this is happening quite on a regular basis, we know what's going on.
And again, I know we mentioned earlier, but it comes down to your environment, like what stress is going on in your life that is distracting you.
Yeah, but the thing is that you have to be honest with us, because if you are not, what happens is we're going to make that plan harder.
It gets harder.
We're going to increase that cardio. We're going to take away that food, and you're like, oh my God, I couldn't even follow that last plan that they've set, and now I've got to follow this, and then you follow it for a couple of days, you binge, and then all of a sudden it's this vicious circle. Like, if you want to get into insane shape, communication between you and your coach is number one.
Extremely important.
Number one.
Because otherwise, what's the point? Like,
Yeah.
if you're just going to go sign up to a coach and do your own thing, why have you paid that coach for that service if you're not going to follow it? It makes no sense.
Yeah, I know. That is mental. So, yeah, always be honest with your coach.
Does a bodybuilding prep affect your current lifestyle?
Oh, okay. So yeah, this is a really good one, to be fair. I think you've got different types of people that handle prep differently. Like myself, I'm okay to around about 8 weeks out. But you got two different people when it comes to prep. You got the ones that can go out and socialize, take their meals with them and they're happy. I am that person for a certain amount of time. But then I switch where I don't want to be around anyone. I'm just proper focused on my goals.
You just want to play COD, don't you?
It helps. But going out, I feel sometimes when people eating around you can distract me as well. I'm like, I would never cheat on the diet, I'll be honest.
I know you're very good.
But when people around me, I'm like, oh, that looks so good. And it just puts me in a mood. So I don't put myself in that environment.
Yeah, we don't do it.
However, I'm talking that's pretty round about the 6 to 8 week mark. I'm okay up to those moments if I've got my meals with me. But you're different, aren't you? You can do it all the way through.
Oh no, I do struggle. I go out, but like when I see the food, I'm like, oh, it looks so good. But in my head, I'm like, my trophy is 100 times
I feel like you
better
handle a little bit better than me. I just shut myself away, and I feel like for some people that's a bit like, oh my god, that's like no life.
Yeah.
But unfortunately, guys, that is generally how it is.
It's a sacrifice.
You either take your meals with you or you stay at home.
Yeah, and I know people get a bit funny. They're like, I don't want to take Tupperware, and it's like, okay, but how important is this goal to you? Because that's something you may have to do, and if you're not willing to do it, think about your competitors.
Yeah,
they're taking their meals with them.
Yeah, exactly. And that's it. We always say to clients, so this is what you got to do. This is what you got to execute. This is up to you if you want to do that.
That's it.
It's really important that we put that across to the client as well, because that's what it is. That's what it takes to do that.
Absolutely. Should a client expect on show day? Maybe start with the tan, because that can traumatize a lot of people.
Yeah, okay. So when it comes to show day, if you've never competed before, I always just say get there nice and early. Just
talk about the tan.
Yeah, well,
what happens with the tan?
I'm getting there. Well, it's actually the night before, isn't it? The night before the shows, you get your base layer.
Yeah, that's it.
For some federations, anyway.
That's it.
So yeah, you rock up, go, all right, let's go and get your tan on.
Yeah.
For guys, you got to take your socks. Yeah.
Where are you putting the sock?
Yeah, you know where you're putting that sock.
Some people don't know. Where are you putting the sock?
If you're getting a tan and you're a guy, just make sure you bring your sock.
Do you? Does everything go in the sock?
Everything goes in the sock, yeah. Yeah, well, it depends if you want that. Yeah. Anyway.
Some people don't know what they do with the sock, because I remember I was there backstage. I think I went with you, and I was not with the men, but I was like waiting. And someone was like, I don't have a sock. And I was like, no, I have one. And he was like, no, it's okay.
Jesus Christ, Seth.
I offered him my sock.
Nice.
Obviously, I won't get
take it back. Can I have that sock back, please?
Keep the sock.
But yeah, to be fair, we went to Hungary, didn't we? And in Budapest.
Yeah.
And they don't believe in socks there. It's just
really?
Yeah, everything's all out, yeah.
Right.
But anyway, sidetracked.
But I have to know, but the women need to know this. Like, when you do go get your tan, you are bollock naked.
With everyone else.
And you will be standing there, kind of like a starfish.
They do women and guys, by the way, separately.
Yeah, they are separate. But yeah, be prepared to stand there naked like a starfish, and it will be cold. The tan is cold. It's not like...
Yeah. So you have to stand in the little tent, they spray you, and then you've got to stand over a fan.
Bullet nipples.
Yeah. Yeah.
But it's all good fun. It's a good experience. So I always warn my clients.
It's not a good experience.
This is what
I hate that part. It's the most weirdest part about bodybuilding. Just standing there, you're like, why am I doing this? Especially the first time as well. You're like, right, no one warns you for this.
No one warns you.
You literally just stand there in a tent. You're like... You try not to make an eye contact. You've got
like the fan, and you're just like putting your bum on it to like dry your tan.
Like the guys are just trying not to make eye contact. You're like, you're right. Yeah, you're right.
I remember I was standing there once, and I could see people like like looking me up and down. I was like,
It's so
but they're
weird.
just checking out your physique. I hope.
Yeah.
But anyway, let's move on
Very strange.
we've explained what happened with the tan, but I would say comp prep on show day is manic. It's crazy. There's a lot going on. You're backstage. There's like shouting names, badges for tans. It is a bit chaotic.
Yeah.
Some federations.
What I will say to you is show day is never really going to go to plan of how you want it to. You know, the dream thing is like, you know, if a coach says to you, right, I want you to have this like 45 minutes before, you know, and we do it with our clients.
Absolutely.
I'll be honest, because you need to have something in place where they're just like, okay, this is what I'm going to have before I go on stage. And what can happen is that we've seen it so many times this year where they're backstage and someone goes, oh yeah, you're on in a couple of hours you're on.
That's it.
And then next minute they're calling your name. Like, you know, it can happen like that.
Yeah.
So just be prepared on show day. Like, you know, we can only prepare as much as we can.
Yeah.
You know, some federations are very, very good at that. Some federations are very bad at that. I'm not going to name them.
Yeah.
You know, and sometimes it's just what happens on the day. So yeah, try to do your best, listen to the people behind the stage, and it'll make yourself a little bit more less stressful.
I always think on show day, like, try not to stress yourself out with anything. I like to like get my hair and makeup done first thing in the morning, get my tan, get my second tan early as possible. So then on show day, I can just sit there, relax, maybe listen to some music and just de-stress. I always want to say, like, try and keep your energy. Don't, you know, a lot of people want to go around, they want to meet everyone. I'm like, just sit in your little group with your coaches, relax, de-stress, just get ready for that moment you have been working so bloody hard for.
Yeah, and that's one of the things as well, especially if you're on it later on in the day.
Yeah.
You know, you got to really watch that water build up in those legs.
Absolutely.
So, you know, if you're constantly running around, seeing who's on stage,
In high
meeting
heels.
people, you know, running up and down,
Yeah.
you know, you are going to, you know, by the time it comes to the evening, you're going to look a little bit washed out. So
Yeah.
just make sure that you are going to get those legs up, get them elevated. That will help.
Sit down, relax, de-stress. Okay, let's go on to peak week. What is the worst thing you can do in peak week? Getting ready for a bodybuilding competition.
Yeah, so peak week, this is one where everyone gets to and they're like, right, here we go. This is where the magic happens. Like, my physique's going to go from 0 to 100. Like, what are we doing? What are we going to do? Sometimes nothing. Sometimes literally, this is where people make so many mistakes. It's where they get to peak week and they're just like, they just think they've got to make all these crazy changes.
Yeah.
They're drinking triple the amount of water. They're taking all their carbohydrates out. You know, just doing some, or adding in some supplements or whatever, which you haven't done in the whole entire prep.
Yeah.
And now you're just literally rolling that dice and doing this, because that's generally what you're doing.
Yeah.
So look, if you get to peak week and you're like, I look good. You know, if you've got a coach there as well and they're just like, yeah, you look great, don't change a thing. Like, sometimes we're literally rolling that dice to the extra 1%,
Absolutely.
which makes it worse. So obviously, look, there are always things that we can do to help without having like a big negative impact, because that's what we want to do. Maybe small little changes to help. But if you feel like nothing needs to change, then don't change a thing. So, you know, there's many things that we can do in peak week as well.
And there's many things not to do.
Yeah, but I think that's the biggest thing. Just make sure that you're doing nothing that you haven't done before.
That will jeopardize everything.
Yeah.
And you don't need to do more. A lot of people think it's about doing more, when in reality, you're bringing down that inflammation, you're pulling back, where some people think, oh, I need to do more to, like, you know, manipulate the water. No, you don't. You don't. Just bring that stress down, bring the inflammation down, and you will look your best on stage.
Exactly. I mean, again, there's so many different ways that you can do a peak week. You know, I literally had a prime example that was David Lawrence, who's now a 4-time champion. And we literally got to peak week, and we knew exactly what we were doing, because we've been trialing it for the last 6 weeks before that, because he got in a great position. So we knew exactly what we needed to do. And what was that? We didn't change a thing. I literally just kept him doing the exact same thing. I maybe pulled down a little bit of volume within his training. I was like, just keep doing what you're doing, because he just kept getting better and better and better. You know, we knew that the night before the show as well, we know we was going to have that burger. And then he'd wake up in the morning, he was crazy. And what happened? We walked around with another 4th title. So some things don't need to be changed. There are some things that we do need to change, but Don't overcomplicate it.
What advice would you give to someone who's just competed in a show? What would you give them post-show advice?
Okay, so if you've had a coach for that whole entire prep, and you get literally the day after the show, you're done. You're like, right, that's it. I'm walking away now. I'm not doing it. Like, that's probably the worst thing that you can do, because you need that support more than ever post-show.
Absolutely.
And this is where a lot of people, they think you're just coaching them to show day. You're not. Like, literally the hard work starts post-show.
Yeah.
And if you utilize that little bit of time frame after the show, you can make a ton of progress.
Build a lot of muscle.
All right, sometimes you need that little bit of pullbacks, because everyone's just like, you could be knackered. Some people, you look maybe just a little bit of a refresh and you can push on. But you need that support post-show, because especially with those post-show cravings, when ghrelin is super, super high, your hunger hormone, and you're trying to control that, and you're fighting that because you're like, oh, I need to go and train, and then all of a sudden you're making that even worse, those cravings worse, because you're digging a hole and you're not too sure what you need to do.
Yeah.
Like, stay with your coach. Like, let them set you a plan. Let them reverse you out of that. And then once you're in a good position, then you can build a ton of muscle in that time. That's my most favorite time, post-show, that rebound phase, when you can literally control that client. We can give you more food, and then their training starts going through the roof. But if you leave your coach post-show, you're literally setting yourself up to failure.
We've seen it. We've seen it before. Like, clients have left coaches, and then they've just not had that structure, the plan. They've gained even more body fat back, and then they're in this vicious cycle where they now think, I need to go back into a deficit, when really their body just needs to just recover, because you've been hammering it for the last God knows how long. So post-show is extremely important to stay with your coach, in my eyes. 100%. Often should a person work out who is an absolute beginner in the gym? How often should they work out?
So this is a good question. This is something that I always say on calls. They ask us, how many days should I be training? And I ask them this question: how many days can you do per week for the rest of your life?
Yeah.
Not for like a stint where you're literally like, right, I can do 6 days per week.
7 every day.
But like, literally, be realistic. What can you do? We got clients that don't go to the gym. We got them doing 1 day a week, 2 days a week, 3 days a week. I would say optimally, is that a word?
4 days.
Yeah, 3 or 4 days.
So you got to remember, like, everyone, yes, you do have your life, you have your family life, you've got kids and everything. I think just aim for 4 days. I like that number. 4 days a week.
We're doing
is
currently
good.
4 days at the moment, aren't we? 4 days works nice for us.
Yeah, my body is shattered today. It hurts.
Yeah, you might see the bags on the
Today is rest day. We've actually got bags. The worst thing you can do is like train 7 days a week, do all this crazy amount of like cardio for the start of this year. Don't do it. Ease yourself in. Just ease yourself in. Do what you can do, and then just start to build that intensity up.
Yeah.
Slowly.
So obviously, look, we started the new year, and this is where a lot of people, they literally just go.
They're all in.
Straight in.
Yeah.
They're training 6 days per week. They're doing a load of cardio. They're bang on with their strict nutrition program. And they'll be smashing it, and you will be smashing it for sure for like the next few weeks. You're like, oh my god, this is brilliant! But all of a sudden, bang, fatigue kicks in. You're feeling hungry. You're feeling tired. Your mate's like, oh, should we go to the pub?
And then guess what? They give up.
Yeah,
people give up.
You give up, and sometimes you need to just look back and go, right, what I did was that the best thing to do?
I'm doing too much.
Yeah, like sometimes we just go all in, and then we can only sustain that for a period of time, then it all just falls apart.
And the thing is, this is why it's so good to have a coach, because you can be like, okay, we recognize that fatigue, we need to pull back, get back on the plan.
Yeah,
coach, ease you through it, guide you through it.
Yeah, sometimes guys, like when you get to that point of giving up, just go, look, what I'm going to do is I'm going to have a couple of rests for a couple of days. I'm going to reset myself. Maybe I'm going to pull back the volume on my training. Maybe give myself like extra few calories, because you have to make this sustainable, because that's how you get insane shape. This is how you live this lifestyle.
Yeah.
If you're wondering how the hell are these people staying in shape all year round, it's not because they're torturing themselves 24/7.
No, but
it's because they've got that flexibility
sustainable.
between everything's sustainable with their nutrition, the training, everything. So if you find it hard to stick to, it's because you have the wrong plan.
Next question: how long will it take to see results?
Expectations of what we should be seeing.
Straight away, right at the start.
We've had clients within the first week, oh my God, what's going on? My weight's gone up, or, you know, my waist measurements have gone up. I'm like, whoa, guys, it's been like a week, you know.
Yeah.
Most likely what we've been doing is you're eating a little bit more food than you're used to.
That's
Glycogen
it.
stores have maybe filled up a little bit.
Yeah.
6 weeks is where that body composition starts to change. So
That's it.
6 weeks, but big changes, you're looking at about 6 months. That is it.
The thing is as well, like, if you want to see results,
Yeah.
this all comes down to how hard, how disciplined you are willing to work.
Mm-hmm.
If you're extremely impatient, it's not going to happen overnight. Like, this is something you need to work on. It's going to take a couple of weeks, and then after a couple of months, you're going to see it, and you're going to be so motivated, and you will stick it out. If you give up after the first week because you're frustrated, nothing's happening, you need to wait longer.
Yeah, nothing comes easy worth having.
Yeah.
I think some people just come to us, you know, and what can happen is they've been eating shit for years, like so many years, and then all of a sudden they're like, oh, right, health kick. You know,
Yeah.
January's here, I'm now doing cardio, I'm training hard, and I want to see those results in 2 weeks. What's going on? What's happening? Like, come on, be realistic. Like, this is going to take time.
I want to lose a stone in a week.
And the biggest thing is what really helps a lot of our clients when we say this is like, focus on your health.
Yeah.
If you focus on your health, your physique will follow. Because, you know, if you are consistently eating good, nutritious food, you're getting exercise in,
That's it.
your body composition is going to change. You know, if you're
Massively.
constantly like looking at yourself going, why is nothing changing? No, give up. Like, you're just setting yourself up to fail. Just focus on your nutrition, focus on your health, and just watch your body composition change. You know, a client hasn't made any progress within the last 3 weeks. Let's just say that. Okay, like literally no with their training, their weight, and everything like that. You know, we'll go, right, what's going on? There'll be a few questions that we ask. You know, how's your sleep quality? How's
Yeah.
your stress levels?
Yeah.
You know, how's your training? Get to send some training videos over.
Absolutely.
Just to make sure that you are training hard, you're executing those exercises how we want it to.
Progressive
And
overload.
let's just say everything is bang on. Like, it's like they're training hard, they're bang on nutrition, their cardio, everything. You know, if your body stops responding, it could be down to that we've been in the fat loss phase for a long period of time, or a gaining phase for a long period of time. You know, that might sometimes we need that little bit of a reset. Maybe
Yeah.
have a few days of rest. Maybe that we need to move into like a gaining phase, or the other way around if it was a fat loss phase, just to have that little bit of a reset. Because sometimes it can happen. We can hit those plateaus, and we need a little bit of a switch up. And it's really important that you understand what's going on and why things need to be changed here and there. So that's why it's always another good reason to get a coach, so you don't run into those issues.
What would you say to someone who feels intimidated to go into the gym?
So
Beginner.
So if you feel intimidated, like generally we have hundreds of clients, they're just too scared to go in that gym. And what I would suggest is maybe doing a little bit at home, build up that confidence.
Yeah.
You know, 9 times out of 10 is because you're not comfortable going in that gym. It's because how you look.
Yeah.
Okay, so, or you're not used to being in that environment. So maybe just focus on self, doing those exercises at home, building that confidence up. You know, even if that's just like body weight exercises or whatever, you got some dumbbells at home. Put yourself for a workout. You know, what happens is when you start dropping that body fat as well within those workouts, you're going to build up that confidence. So
Yeah, I think as well, it's really important that you get confident with the exercises you are doing. Because when you actually, say like a row, you get really confident at it, you then can tell yourself, okay, I know how to execute this efficiently, so I'm going to add more weight. You add more weight, you're going to start to see progress in your lift. So it's understanding how to do the exercise, get really confident within your surroundings. And I would say take a friend with you. Like if you're really unconfident about going to the gym, take a buddy, go through that workout with your friend. That will help build your confidence. And then eventually you can be like, hell yeah, I know what I'm doing. I can go in there on my own.
Yeah, so the answer to that was maybe do some exercises at home. First of all, build that confidence up. And if you have no person to go to the gym with, maybe just go in there and literally just go on a few exercises, maybe for like even 10 minutes at a time. Just build up that confidence, because every time that you go back into that gym, that's when you're going to build up that confidence.
Yeah.
So,
Don't run away.
And also as well, guys, you've got to remember as well, everyone in that gym is there to bet themselves.
100%.
So, and a lot of those people are probably thinking what you're thinking as well.
Do you know what a lot of people think? They go into the gym and they're like, oh my God, everyone is staring at you. No one is staring at you. No one cares what you're doing unless you're wearing the most revealing, scrunched up bum leggings with the cheeks hanging. No one cares. No one cares. But I think people have this massive thing about everyone's going to stare at you. They're really not. Like, no one cares.
Yep.
They're doing their own thing. And if you look at them, you can see everyone's in the zone. Everyone's like doing their own thing. So don't think people are staring at you because they're not.
Yeah, no one cares about you.
No one cares. Sorry, but you're not that special. How does a client stay motivated? If they're losing motivation, what would you say?
So if a client says, oh, guys, you know, I'm just not motivated at the moment, I think one of the first things to do is switch a few things up. One of those would definitely be through their training. You know, if you've been on a training program for a long period of time, maybe it's quite a good time to switch that up.
Absolutely. Let your coach know.
Yeah. At the end of the day, you want to make sure that you're enjoying it.
Yeah.
You know, that's enjoying your training, that's enjoying what you're eating. So that second thing is maybe switch up your foods, maybe give it more variety. Ask that client as well, what are you not enjoying?
Yeah.
You know, why do you feel you're not motivated? Is it because of this time of year as well? Because it's dark mornings, it's dark evenings? Is that what it is as well?
Yeah.
You know, that could actually be down to a lack of vitamin D as well, which we find a lot this time of year. You know, it could be that your body's fatigued. You know, you need a bit of a deload.
That's it.
There's lots of reasons, to be fair, but at the end of the day, there's always things that we can do. It's generally not you. It's sometimes that we just need a little bit of a reset.
Yeah, it's a sign.
Yeah.
And you're starting to feel like you're losing motivation. You need to go back to your why, and we will help remind you, why are you doing this? Like, don't give up, because before that you were in this vicious cycle. It's so important you don't give up and you stick to your habits. Your habits will get you results. If you suddenly start to become unmotivated, you need to revisit that why.
Yeah.
What are the common mistakes beginners make?
I think they overcomplicate it.
Yeah.
That's it.
How do they do that?
They just simply thinking eating less, doing more is the way to do it.
I don't know why people want to eat less.
No.
I love food.
I don't know where people get this information from as well. Like, oh yeah, I'm going to stick to 1,000 calories. That's what I'm going to do.
And do 20,000 steps.
Are you going to sustain
Please
that?
don't. Please don't do that.
Yeah, you're going to sustain that for the rest of your life.
That's what we say. Can you do this for the rest of your life? If it's a straight up no, this is not sustainable. You need to realise that.
You're going to die. No, you're going to die.
Yeah, so going back to it, it's so important to have a sustainable plan that you can stick to. And then after a certain period, you're like, I can do this on my own. I don't need coaches.
And that's the whole point of it as well.
Yeah.
If you have no idea what you're doing, get yourself a coach. Because the idea of that coach is to educate you as well.
Absolutely.
So you know exactly what you need to do for the rest of your life once that program is done. You know, if you're just a bit like, I have no idea what the fuck I'm doing, but I'm going to do this, like, you're just most likely wasting your time or making things worse.
Time. Like,
invest in someone that can help you reach your goals. It's going to help a lot.
And when you think of like a whole year, if you've just been doing random stuff for like the first 6 months, you've not made progress, you've just lost 6 months of the year, which is why I think it's so important. Like, January is such a good time. I know not now, because the progress you could make in 1 year is just absolutely insane. And time goes so quick. It goes like that before you know it. It just flies by.
And that's the thing is as well, it's, I think, people just think, I'm in January, there's so much time till summer. We see it all the time, guys.
I'll start next year. Yeah.
Like, literally all the time it literally gets to March and everyone starts to panic.
Yeah.
They go, fuck, the weather starts to improve a little bit and you're still fat and you've got still much work to do.
That's it.
And it gets around to the summer, you just haven't got to, you've done really well, but you've delayed it.
You can see who started in January, can't you? You can really see.
They only got a few extra months on them.
Exactly.
That's a lot of time. So like, if you want to get in the best shape, you're like, give it yourself some time. Don't just go, you get to March thinking, oh my God, I'm in shit shape and I've only got like a couple of weeks to my holiday or whatever. Yeah. Start now. You'll do yourself a favour.
Right now. Right. Okay, guys, so that is the end of the podcast. We really hope you enjoyed the discussion on bodybuilding, and if you are a beginner, advice from us what to do starting your fitness journey for 2025.
Yes.
We will see you in the next episode. Now pretend you're typing.
All right, when he goes on to the news.